following content is intended for a mature audience only. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Boom, boom. We're on British Bears, coming to you from another land. The British Bears Show, another kind of fan. Bears fans all day, Bears fans all night, 365 days, 5,000 miles away. Hey, hey, hey! The British Bears, the Irish Bears, the German Bears, the Polish Bears. Wait, what? We are bears. We are bears. We are bears. Fans. The British Bears. The British Bears. Welcome to the British Bears.
And now your hosts, Jason UK Bears and Dave Bears UK.
And
Hello,
Chris
hello.
Watts.
And Chris
And
Watts.
Chris Watts.
You know, the guy what invented the show, the lead host, don't get a mention in the intro for the second week coming. But welcome all to the British Bears. We're at full team strength today. We've got Big Dave back. He was on holiday last week with his lovely wife. And Dave's back, so that's really good. And also it's game day week, which we haven't been able to say for a good sort of few months. I hope everybody's good in the chat. How are you, Jason?
I'm great, mate. Yeah, Shorty. Shout out to Shorty for that opening. It is so good, isn't it? I know. Well, it needs to get one done for the three of us. But so Dave's in. You're in the closer, Chris. But yeah, I love it so much, that opener, man. It's just so good, isn't it? It's better than the Thursday night show, I think. Yeah, I think it's just brilliant. With great work, mate. So yeah, hello to everyone in the chat. Carl's in here. Relentless Mikey's in here. Shorty's in here as well. Armando, I believe I saw, as usual. Maybe Patty will turn up in a bit, but Armando's there. Is that Carl checking in from Twitter?
Yeah, I've got a couple of mates out there, and they said the city's starting to buzzing. I think it also helps that both the Cubs and the White Sox, in the MLB, are doing quite well as well. So they're looking at that as a continuation of the Bears feel-good factor. Right. And the one thing that has caught my eye, and it's making me really laugh, have you guys heard of the Hallmark channel, where they're doing
in like a Chicago Bears movie or something being
That's
made?
it,
Yeah.
And you know what? And for me, that is just another positive vibe. It really is another absolute positive vibe about the buzz of the city. And my God, I hope we get off to a fantastic start. I really do.
Yeah, same here, mate. I mean, the sort of first discussion is probably, it's going to sound really negative after what you just said, Dave. And what you said is completely right. And it's so cool as well that, you know people in Chicago, and you can get a feel of the buzz of the city because, it must have been awesome being there last year. So, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the Bears have sort of caught the injury bug over the last sort of couple of weeks. And we've had some breaking news before we came on that Coby Bryant is going to be out for 4 to 6 months. So, I mean, that's 3/4 of the season, isn't it? If it's 6 months, it's more or less the whole season. So that's been through Adam Schefter. Carl kindly put it on the messages on the comment page, and that is such a gut-wrenching injury length of time for him to get over. But yeah, I mean, I'll quickly go through the sort of injuries, the guys who are out at the moment. Luther Bird Strain's going to be back. He's not going to play in the pre-season. He's going to be back in week 1.
Hang on.
Go on.
Carl's saying here the news of Coby Bryant was from Ben Johnson directly. So
really? Wow.
As we were coming on, I saw that they were doing a live presser, and I tried to get on there, and I saw something about someone made a comment about the words coming out of the camp and do they need to have a look at things, and Johnson cut him off. He's like, no, next question. Like, so clearly that's what it's about. Yeah, sorry, thanks for that, Carl. I didn't see it, the presser. I was busy just getting ready for the show and whatnot. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, isn't it, with it being longer than they thought, which is a real shame. So it's obviously why they got Xavier Woods in, wasn't it? But yeah.
We'll move on to the new signings after we get through this injury report. Obviously we just mentioned Coby Bryant, Cam Lewis, defensive back, right ankle, foot injury, no official timeline on his recovery. Zavion Thomas, the new wide receiver, the Speezer guys had a minor knee knock day to day, but I'm sure he was there when they were doing the walkthrough yesterday at the local high school. I'm sure he was. Montez Sweat, at the end, undisclosed issue, but they don't think it's going to be a long-term issue, which is really great because, we really struggled with the pass rush last year. So, we definitely need Sweat to be healthy. Braxton Jones at the left tackle, knee injury. Yet again, they don't think it's going to be a long-term issue. And cornerbacks, Terrell Smith and Jalen Jones. And linebacker, Demario Jackson, undisclosed minor ailments. So, but the thing is, I was watching Aldo and Greg Gabriel yesterday, and Greg says, the Bears have to release any information about injuries until the Wednesday before, the first week of the season. So a lot of these sort of information we're getting is from either the players' agents or, on the rumour mill. So, it's really hard to sort of figure out, how long people are really going to be off. And, how sort of truthfully bad their injuries are. But, Jason, what's your sort of thoughts about, the growing list of injuries and how it might affect the Bears at the early start of the season?
I don't know, mate. Let me just say hello to the new people that are joined. Booker World hopped in. Obviously, everyone's seen him. Great to have him back with us. Smitty K's in there. And Peanut Head, who we saw last season, didn't we, around here? So I believe you're a Brit as well, aren't you? I think. Is that right? I think Peanut Head is another UK fan, if I remember rightly.
Let us know, Peanut Head, for sure, man. Because that's a cool name. That's a cool internet name. I like that, Peanut Head. I'd be called a lot worse than that.
Within the last half hour, yeah. So yeah. You're right, mate. The important thing you said is that they haven't got to release anything official until the Wednesday before the first game. So during the off season, they haven't got it. So it's all kind of like rumor mills and secondhand stuff. So, and I think it's really important to bear a couple of things in mind. One is to just not lose your head early on, because some of these guys, if it was a game coming up, they would probably play. But in pre-season, I just think you're going to be ultra careful, aren't you? You want your guys fit and ready to go week 1. It's a long attritional season. You're not going to take any risks in some, in practice before getting these guys out there. And I know, the Bryant one, I talked to Shorty over the weekend, I think it was, gutted, because it's like, even when we thought he was coming back, it's a shame we were missing because he wanted to get him installed, get him installed into the defense, build that chemistry with Dylan Thieneman, and obviously give that leadership at the back. So obviously it's a bit more serious than we thought, which just changes the view, doesn't it? But exactly that. So this is what I mean. This vitality, Carl is there. Ben Johnson said he expects Burden to be ready for week 1. And a lot of these are minor. So, I mean, I made some notes too. Like Zavion Thomas, like you said, just a bit of sore knee. He'll be back soon. The day-to-day. Luther Burden's got a minor groin tweak. Again, they're not going to take any chances. They'll have him ready to go. He's been showing out in training camp. Yeah. So I don't think it's something to worry about in terms of it'd be nice to have him fit and rolling ready, but ultimately he'll be a week or two behind in terms of game fitness. But I'm not concerned with that. The ones that they say are not so sure about, and the thing is, people kind of run away with it because we've heard nothing. But I mean, Terrell Smith, obviously, hopefully that's not a reoccurrence. He was out last year, all year, with a patella tendon injury, wasn't he? So hopefully nothing's serious about that. It's not a relapse. Elijah Hicks, there was a shin injury, apparently, wasn't it? I think you said that. But the wind's blowing through it. That's all right. The thing's going to start moving. It's getting a bit breezy. But yeah, I've got the windows open because it's so flipping hot down here.
Same here. Same here.
Peanut Head. No, that's right. Sorry, lads. Born and raised in Chicagoland, live in the Pacific Northwest. All good, mate. Everyone's welcome here.
We'll let you off, mate. Not being British, we'll let you off. You know what I mean? It's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, Elijah Hicks started on the pup, didn't he? It's a shin injury apparently. So just again,
That's right. Yes.
you just don't know. Cam Lewis again is a minor one. He was back seeing the training this week, so that'll be hopefully another one. And the other one is Jalen Jones. He left training. He was starting, wasn't he? He started training camp because he was playing a lot in the nickel when Kyler Gordon was not there, which has been all the training camp, obviously. But again, it's just, I'm sure not all of them are going to be that bad. Hopefully, yeah, Relentless, we're going to talk about that. With Relentless Mikey, where's my mouse gone? There he is. Definitely going to mention that early on.
Yeah.
Is the news, can I break it now? We're going to just do it. I might as well.
Go on, Jason.
Hogan Johns interviewed Ryan Poles, didn't they? And they let out the release of the early bit. That he said it's a possibility that he starts training in training camp before the season. Essentially, he's ahead of schedule. Again, you don't really know the extent of the injury unless you've seen the medical report. So, I mean, a torn patella tendon could be like, it's a bad injury, potentially for some a career ender, but others it might not be so bad. So hopefully he's on that end where, and again, I'm sure they wouldn't be pushing him too hard, but it sounds really positive that he's going to be potentially back for not as much of the, he's not going to miss as much of the season as we first thought. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but it's potentially good news, really good news that he's going to be back. So hopefully the surgery was a success. He's good to go when they put him in. And yeah, it'll be great to have our sort of franchise left tackle that we thought we had until obviously that horrible injury occurred. But Shamar Turner had the ACL last year. So again, he's working his way back. Trapillo, I've mentioned. Noah Saul had the Achilles. So again, that's a hangover from last season. But yeah, a lot of them are just kind of like, it shouldn't be too serious, but we just don't know because we're not getting the info, They're not telling us. They don't have to report injuries. So we're all kind of like guessing. It's based on rumor mills from the press and stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna, lose my shit just yet. Obviously, it'd be great to see Kyler Gordon back. We had mentioned that a bit last week, didn't we? About what how bad a calf can be. So what's he doing here? That's Carly. That's you in it. It's going to do the depth chart. I was going to mention that, but to me, it's not a big deal because it's like and I think you guys will probably talk about it on Thursday. Carl, you guys will probably, I'm sure, I'll go through it.
If you don't want it, don't use it. If you want it, use it.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I know there's the voices in my head. The voices in my head again. Yeah.
It's again.
The ghost in the machine. But yeah, cool.
Sorry, go on, Jason.
So yeah, I saw that the first depth chart was out, but it's an initial one in training camp. There's like, there's 90 odd players on there. It's like, I don't think it's that. I don't sort of, give it too much kind of credence at the minute, and we'll just see where it goes, But I'll let the other guys chat about it on Thursday, though. I'm sure they'll mention it. But yeah, sure. That's my thoughts, mate. I'm not panicking just yet, but it's just annoying that we're getting these injuries. But I'll mention that we're not the only ones, but I'll talk about that when we talk about the Browns game in a minute. So yeah, that's me.
I think also, Chris and Jace, I think it's a full contact sport, and I don't know how hard these boys are going in at training. And when you've had a few months off, a bit of holiday, they've got to get their fitness back. They've got to get their strength back. And I didn't realise what you guys, until I just learned that off you, that all these sort of injury reports are not necessarily official. And I think sometimes a lot of these, there's so much news coverage out in the States, isn't there? Everyone's trying to grab that headline. And I'm not being funny. I've printed off 20-odd sheets here today with different scenarios, and 3 of them are out of date already in the last half an hour, you know what I mean? So it's just a fast-paced moving. And like Jason said, I'm not panicking just yet. The only one I was a little bit upset about when they just said about Coby there, because when I was looking at my notes, Ben Johnson hadn't necessarily assessed. This is only 20 hours ago, and it's out of date already. So they've obviously made an assessment, which is quite upsetting, really. But I did look at the depth chart today. Was that on ESPN website? And we got a bloody good team, actually. We've got a good squad. So I'm not panicking just yet because we had enough injury problems last season. Yeah. And the boys stepped up. So with a field,
I can't read that.
I can't read that. Let me put my glasses on.
Even with my specs on, I can't read that.
I think I need glasses.
What is interesting is that they didn't say there is a number one left tackle, did they? They just said the 3 of them, or so yeah, that was interesting. And as Peanut, like you're right, as Peanut Head said earlier, Dave, in the comments, dynasties are built on depth. They're built on on your backups, because it's all very well having your sort of 5 or 6 superstars that you're paying tons of money to. It's the other guys around them that make the difference, because they're the ones that have to step up. It's a game of 11 on 11.
And I felt, and we did that last season, didn't we? The boys did step up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, today I watched the NFL Network Insiders program, and they were going around all the training camps, and every team's got injuries. Every team's got like they were talking about the 49ers. They've got loads of injuries. People like Christian McCarthy, some of the big vets, and every team they went through, every team had knocks and injuries. So I'm with you guys. I'm not too worried. We don't know the full information, and it's just like you guys have said, Jason and Dave, that last year we had all them injuries in the defensive back, and the guys who were like the backups played up. But I think as well we've also got a really good defensive back coach as well with Harris, who performed miracles, I thought, last year with the people he actually had playing. Yeah, it's just when you sort of keep hearing the names and they start piling up, and you keep thinking shit. But like I said, every team will be in this scenario. There won't be any team in the NFL who hasn't got injuries to the most important players at some point, or a number of players. So I mean, I'm sort of quietly confident that we should be all right to start the season.
I agree with that, and I just, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I really want to make sure we get off to a good start. So really, we do want our best players on the pitch from game one. Whether or not they play in the preseason games, I'm not really that bothered, really, because you're not going to put your strongest team out, are you, in the preseason games? And I just want to hit the ball, the ground running, and I want to see the boys playing with the ball, and just we need to win the first 3 or 4 games, and that can set the tone for the rest of the season.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I agree. It's just it's like you don't really see they get rested a lot, don't they? All the first teamers generally, they don't get a lot of snaps. Although I think Ben Johnson did more than certainly Eberflus did, because that was one of the problems, that I think you didn't play him enough. So it's a fine line. It's a balance, isn't it? But yeah, it was just getting a bit kind of like depressing when it was every single day there's another injury at training camp. It would be nice to have a few days when we're not getting one. Someone carted off. So yeah, some of it's depth. I don't know. Maybe you could argue that perhaps it's more of our starters that are getting hurt than some of the other teams. But like I say, it's a long way to go. We've got a few weeks left of training camp. They're probably being cautious, and we'll just see where we end up. But yeah, it'd be nice to get some proper news on people like Elijah Hicks, Terrell Smith, and obviously certainly Kyler Gordon. So maybe they're just planning for a big reveal there. He's ready to go, but who knows?
I mean, I like what you said, Jason. Is sort of they're probably being overcautious with the players. At this moment in time, like you said, if this were like the week running up to week 1, the first game of the actual season, then a lot of these guys will be playing. And like I completely agree with what you said, Jason. That they're being very cautious, so they can get as many players back from injury as possible. So I can completely understand why they're being that way. And it's just. It's like you said, when you keep hearing it every day, somebody else has gone down. So you're thinking, come on, dude. Especially when it's a lot of them are the defensive backs, and we had that issue through the season last year. I mean, also as well, that we'll go through the sort of recent Bears signings, because obviously they've had to make a few signings, to get camp bodies and make the number of. Obviously, the big one is Xavier Woods from the Carolina Panthers. I heard that he played. He's completely slotted in pretty well straight away. He's got his first pick in his first practice, which is awesome. The guy's played for years. His stats are really good through the years. So, I mean, I think for the situation we're in, I think he's a good signing. What do you reckon, Jason?
Yeah, solid vet. I mean, it's obviously not quite the. I don't think he's quite the same kind of player as Coby Bryant, but it's not like he's just a sort of camp guy, is it? I think they've signed a decent replacement, really. He's got experience. He played with Pharrell Harris in Dallas as well. So
that's right, yeah.
He's another sort of link to our coaching staff. And he's got some reasonable sort of stats over the time. So it's a good vet to put next to Thieneman as well, isn't it? So I think, yeah, it's. I think it's a fairly good move by the Bears. Obviously, knowing now what we know, perhaps they knew had more of a hint about Bryant's injury before then, and sort of acted straight away. So
I think so.
yeah, I think that's a decent signing. Really, we'll see how he goes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
he
do.
introduced himself to Colson Loveland, didn't he, early on with a big hit
Yeah.
on him apparently. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great, but just try not to injure anyone else. It's,
Especially Colson
So
Loveland.
I don't watch none of that. I don't watch none of that. They actually show footage of the training today.
No, not so much, mate. Only some of the public ones. You get to see a little bit. I just catch it on some of the other podcasts, really. It's just like, Swifty shows some.
Oh,
and
okay.
Some of the other guys managed to get hold of some from people. I think you'll see a bit of it on X if you're on there, but obviously I don't use any kind of social media, so I'm always a bit behind everyone else. But yeah, I think you can occasionally see some somewhere, but Swifty's my sort of the place where I normally see it. But yeah. Apparently,
okay.
yeah, he laid a bit of wood on Colston Loveland in the early training camp. So yeah.
Well, to be fair, Loveland's a big unit himself. He can look after himself, can't he? So
Yeah.
Big lad.
that'll wake him up a little bit then.
How do you feel about the signing, David?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. How old is he? Early 30s?
I think he's
No,
there
it's
about.
not.
Yeah, is he early 30s? That's all I know, really. I don't really know much about him. I don't know much about the Panthers, but if he's a Bear player now, that's good enough for me.
Nicely done there, David.
Yeah,
That was
I
nicely
knew you were
done,
going to throw me under the bus.
I know. It was like, God, he dug himself out that one. What fucking awesome. Right, yeah, another guy we signed is Beanie Bishop Jr. from the Pittsburgh Steelers, cornerback. I don't really know much about him, really, to be honest with you. I just remember Greg saying that he thinks he's there to fill the numbers up in training camp. But do you know anything more about him, Jason?
I know that he in his rookie season he had 6 starts and 4 interceptions.
Really?
So yeah. So it's he had a really good start as a rookie, and then he's on the practice squad the next year. So I'm really not sure how that happened, but again, just decent. So not again could be just count body, but I think it's just another good one to add to the mix because when you're not entirely sure what you've got, like I say, if we're losing other players, it gives him a chance to show out, doesn't it? So just get him in here. Beanie Baby is a bloody legend, says Carl. But yeah, I mean, again, I think that's a kind of reasonable. It's not just a kind of camp body like some of the other ones are. So there's a chance he could make the 53, depending on how the other injuries go in terms of Jalen Jones and Terrell Smith. But yeah, he'll have his work cut out to get on the 53, but it's possible. And I think it's not just some mug. He's in a couple of years. He's been in the NFL, so he'll be up to speed. And he's had some production early on. So yeah, we'll see where he goes. See what happens. Might see him on Saturday.
Maybe so. Yeah.
I don't know much about these particular players, but my God, if they've got a chance to get into the Bears training squad, they've got a real opportunity to. It's a spotlight on them, isn't it? Really, especially if we've got a few players injured. So good luck to them.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Completely agree.
That's an interesting point for Mikey, though. Sorry, Chris. Here is that because last year he violated the substances rule, so he's actually missing he's suspended for the first 3 games of the season. So that's a bit of a curious one, but I guess they kind of try to cover some bases,
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that must have been the night he came out with me.
Shocking. Next, you'll be saying that it was him that drove Dan's truck into that car park, but we won't go there.
He's done me there. Brilliant.
Next guy, Brandon Hill, safety from the Houston Texans. Obviously, they're trying to fill out the defensive backfield. We're trying to get as much coverage as we can for these injuries. Maybe they might be thinking about using the slot in the Kyler Gordon position if he's still not right by the start of the season. What are your thoughts about Brandon Hill, Jason?
Well, kind of like I don't know much about these guys. They seem like camp bodies. Yeah, it's like I think because also just to mention the players they've released. Obviously, there's some serious injury. I think Dallas Flowers, the defensive back, I think his was quite a serious injury. He's been released with an injury waiver. The same as another D lineman. There's been a few players released with injury status. So I think they're kind of like just trying to put some bodies in the backfield for training camp. So they've obviously got a cut down to 53. So I don't think these guys are probably it's a real long shot in it. But again, it's just they're kind of hedging bets based on they just need people at the position, don't they? Really for this stage of the game. when they're losing these guys, to, and it might be, like I say, just to get them in there while they're resting and being cautious. But yeah, I've got no real view on these three mates. On Brandon Hill, Will Wright, and Marlon Sewell is another defensive back. I think he was on the Chiefs practice squad last year. The others, I don't know much more about those guys either. So yeah, I think they're kind of like camp bodies. See where they go.
Yeah.
The thing is, like I say, I've been printing more stuff off today, and this is the list. I've got 7 pages of Chicago Bears players here. I just can't keep up with you two guys. You throw breaking news at me as well. And I've got loads of statistics on each player, but it doesn't tell me what they are. I don't understand them apart from their age. So
we'll have to meet in the we'll meet in the pub, Dave, and discuss them. We'll give you a bit of an education in the pub over a pint or two.
Yeah, I've had an education with you down the pub. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, that's the secret. No one should know about that. But yeah, you can send your expenses into Shorty, and he'll give you the money back for the printer paper. All right, just to let you know.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I've got his email address somewhere.
So have you two actually been for the pint then yet?
Yeah, we did some time ago, didn't we? Yeah. I came straight from work and got absolutely fucked. I was just hammered. It's just I came straight from work.
I mean, I don't live like 200 odd miles. Where were my fucking invite, boys? Do you know what I mean?
It's in the post, mate.
We sent you an email.
But post from last year, whatever. Yeah.
Get your ass down here. We'll do another one.
Yeah, at some point, I'll definitely have to come down, and we'll all have to go out to Purple Turtle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Oh dear.
Maybe not there.
But the point I'm making is there's so much going on in the world of Chicago Bears at the moment, and I do struggle to keep up with it all. And all the players that you've shouted out here, they're all on my list. They've all got stats against their names, but I don't know if they're going to be quality. I don't know if they're going to be shite. So
we're all in the same boat with most of it. And then the most recent signing is Ray McLeod, wide receiver from Atlanta Falcons. What a great name. And I think he's primarily been a punt returner and a kick returner. I think he's been one of the real sort of good punt returners over the last couple of years when he's had a chance to do it. I think he's pretty quick. I think he's sort of.
What's his name?
What's that? Sorry.
Ray McLeod. Ray McLeod.
Ray McLeod.
I'm going to find out how old he is.
Go on, mate. Get your finishing out.
Brilliant. But yeah, he's not particularly fast. He's not a burner. I think he's 40 was something like 4.4 something. So
really? Right.
Yeah. But I think he's kind of like coverage for kick returns. I think he led the NFL in punt return yardage in something like 2024.
You're right.
He's so far down the pecking order in terms of wide receivers, but I guess we'll just see like a bit of a camp body. Like Relentless Mikey says, he's a jag, so we'll just see. We'll just I mean, probably just for a bit of punt return stuff. I'd probably a returner, slot receiver, nothing special, but again they lost the wide receiver. Kyron Hudson was released with a designated injury designation, so they probably was replacing him, I think.
So can you guys, either you two or people that are in the group, can they explain to me how these guys are coming to the Bears? Is the Chicago Bears got a scout set up across the country, and they're saying let's get these guys to Hallis, or how does it work? Do you guys know?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I mean, the Bears will have. Sorry, Jason. The Bears will have professionals. They have the NFL professional scouting units, and they have like a college scouting unit. So they'll have scouts sort of keeping an eye on all the people who come available, and then obviously they'd recommend them to the coach and the GM. I presume that's.
God, this is a conversation. I don't even follow it, mate. But there's Carl just said that when we all come over to America. There he goes. When you lot come over to USA, I heard Shorty wants to take us to the Blue Oyster Bar for some drinks and dancing.
I know the Blue Oyster Boy. That's from the bloody Police Academy film, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's it. Got it. And then
Shorty says that one.
Shorty says Carl is coming too, and then
Shorty's a member.
Booker says I'm secure enough in my manhood. I'm in. That's it. That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say like Shorty's a full pay member at that club.
Well, yeah, it's Peanuts saying every team has scouts out watching other teams' practices, and obviously there are guys that are available. I'm sure there's like a portal where they can just guys that are unattached, teams that players that are like free agents are out on the street. They'll have an agent, and I'm sure they can just ring round and see. I don't know, but yeah, they have a network of scouts across the country, didn't they? So I can recommend a couple of the 1920 football drive videos on YouTube, Dave, to learn a bit more about how the scouting network works. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that. They are a fantastic piece of work from the Bears media team, the 1920 football drive docs. They're absolutely brilliant. I love them. Every single one. I just watch it straight away. It's amazing several times. They're just really, really good bit of work. So, I recommend them, mate.
Yeah.
Right.
You
want to talk about some players that have gone? Like I said, sorry, mate, just to release some.
Go for it, mate.
One of the things this week has been decided as well is the long snapper competition. That is officially over because they released Luke Elkins. It was the competition between him and Bo Gardner. So Bo Gardner is the only long snapper on the long snapper on the roster.
That's what you said.
He's the
Guys, I'm
only
just
long
going to get another
snapper.
drink. I'll be back in a minute. Should we get another drink? I'll be back.
Yeah. We'll take him out of the studio for now, then. Let's leave him there.
That's what she said, mate.
yeah, exactly. Bo Gardner's the only long snapper on the squad now on the roster, and they released with sort of injury designations. Jonathan Garvin is a D lineman. Dallas Flowers, a defensive back. Safety Javarius Owens, who had an injury. Running back Casey Ezerome and wide receiver Kyron Hudson. I believe they've all been let go with like injury designations. So that's why a lot of these. Carl, long slapper at the Blue Oyster. Yeah, you heard it here first. So they've let a few go. That's why they probably brought some of these guys in. But yeah, Luke Elkins was released as a long snapper, so we've got only one of those in the team. And yeah, that's it really for the signings. Probably about there. Injuries, let's say we'll wait and see. But it is frustrating, that people when we see all these injuries, like, oh hello, don't start that, Mikey. Peanut's absolutely right. Don't forget Cole Kmet is the other long snapper on the team. He had to step in, didn't he? Which game was it? Was it in London? I think it was the London game, wasn't it? Yeah. I saw Cole Kmet doing long snaps. He used to do that. He's an all-round athlete, isn't he? Like he was a pitcher in baseball, wasn't he? Hence his celebration, his Tuddy celebration. So yeah, what a guy. But no, that's right. He did a long snapping too, didn't he? In a pinch.
I think he didn't want to do it again, though.
He said he wasn't keen, didn't he? Yeah. But we know he's there. But I think, we've got to kind of wait. Go on.
So the guys you just went through who are being cut due to injury. Do they get like a payment, like an injury
I don't know,
payment?
mate. I'd imagine they would. I think that's probably part of the CBA is that they've probably they probably get some kind of protection. That's what the NFLPA is for, isn't it? Is to give these guys a chance if they get screwed an injury and they can't work. I guess there's kind of like some summit for them. I mean, imagine they're not going to be, ultra rich, but they might be. Hopefully, they get looked after. I'd imagine so. I don't really know, to be honest, but who knows?
Now, if anybody in the chat knows a bit more in depth than we do, then please let us know because he's on the sauce. Dave's on the sauce already.
Just the one. Moderation Dave.
Moderation. I can't see that, Dave. Well, we'll see when I come down and see you.
One day.
The moderation is a pub in Reading, so maybe that's more to that nickname than there meets the eye. Who knows?
No, there wasn't, but I do know it.
Brilliant. So yeah, I mean, guys, let's talk about. There's a few little standouts from training camp. I mean, I just wanted some stuff to mention. I think because we don't want to be all doom and gloom about the injuries.
No.
So one thing I really want to mention is what we're not hearing anything about this year is Caleb running the offense. Other than he's got it down. That's what other players seem to be saying. Looking at year 2 in Ben Johnson's offense, he seems to have got it. I think we're going to see something special from him this year. I always hope that, but I think we're not hearing the same kind of negative stuff. There's nothing about all the pre-snap penalties. There's nothing about some, the sort of not functioning the offense properly. Grady Jarrett was in his presser when he said he's impressed with him so far. So, yeah, I mean, this is great news that Caleb's command of the offense. And when you see all the highlights, we're talking about. No one's even mentioning that, they're showing like Zavion Thomas and Roma Dunze and Luther Burden and Loveland. They're showing all their catches and stuff. It's just being done. His job's being done, isn't it? Caleb's just doing his job, man. Yeah. So I think hopefully that it's all slowing down for him. He's getting used to the motions and he's being able to put his mental energy into reading that defense and, reading his coverages and just take it up a level this year. So, yeah, I'm excited to see that. But that's, I think, great news is that we're not hearing about pre-snap penalties and formations and huddles and all this other stuff. He's just running it slick and professionally. So that's brilliant.
I think also, Jason, also the media have also, I believe, focusing on that he's lost a bit of weight. He's looking a bit slimmer. He's toned up. It's all, yet again, it's all positives and it's all positive media coverage again. And like you say, all the negative stuff from years gone by, they seem to be ignoring that at the moment. And I think, like I said last year, he's becoming the face of the NFL, Caleb. And
he is.
And so long may it continue. And that's great to hear that he's not getting negative stuff in training camp as well. That's great.
Yeah, I mean the things that everything I've heard about Caleb through training camp's just been positive. It's just been like, and I think as well, you could see it happening sort of at the back end of last season. Well, I'd say 3/4 of the way through the season, because we had that sort of slow start with the offense for the first couple of games. And by the end of the season, you could tell it were all clicking in his head. Pre-snap, get out the middle quickly. Having complete control of the offense. It sounds like he's just continuing to improve. And you're completely right, Dave. He's one of the faces of the NFL. He's on Madden this year. He's on the Madden cover, which is a big thing. It's just so weird being a Bears fan when we're talking like this about a quarterback. Especially we've had people like Mike Gannon and fucking Trubisky and all the shit we've had over the last sort of 6 or 7 years. He's showing his doubters that he's the real deal, I think, now. I really do.
Definitely. I just want to answer this question from Mikey, saying he hadn't heard a word about Hippolyte through camp so far, which is very true. But he was on the injury list for a little while as well. He missed some time with an injury too. So, yeah, there's not been much from him so far, but we'll probably see him in the preseason games, I guess. Trips is saying that there's some breaking news. Is this where's that coming from? Bears Communications at Bears PR. The Bears have signed O-line Wesley French and waived DB Brandon Hill. So they've got one of the guys we just mentioned has gone already. So, yeah, I'm just going to tear up my notes as well. It's just get my pen out. Yeah, exactly. It's that time of year, isn't it? It's that time of year. Smitty K is saying, again, and we talked about this, we said it last week, didn't we, Chris, how unusual it is for the Bears fans to be excited about our offense going into the season. Smitty K says, I expect the Bears to be the number one offense this year, and that will buy the hurt DBs to get back, or time to get back for the playoffs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. This is what we're going to look at. Hopefully, the DB in situation doesn't matter so much when we're putting up 35 plus points a game. So Booker's saying hopefully it keeps up so folks can shut up about 58%. Yeah, exactly. I think no one cares about 58% when he's just leading 7 fourth quarter comebacks. You know what I mean? It's like where it matters is that hopefully this year the game will be over for us by we'll have such a lead by the second quarter that it doesn't matter about fourth quarter and looking at sort of completion percentages. So that'll be the improvement this year. Will be not having to worry about comebacks because we've killed the game off by the end of the third. So we'll see. Mikey's saying that as far as Caleb's concerned, he's acting more mature this year and as a controller of the offense. He just looks different, doesn't he? I think he's just great. He's now grown into this role as a leader, as a quarterback in the NFL. It's exciting. I'm trying to keep temper my expectations. You know what I mean? It's just like we haven't had this kind of guy before, have we? We have not had this as a Bears fan before.
The only thing that worried, and I'm not worried at the moment at all by any means, but we had so many magical moments last season. They were magical, and we've all screaming the house down and waking the wife and kids up or whatever. And I just hope we have a similar season to this coming up, because the vibe and the atmosphere was just an amazing experience. And I can honestly say this season. Last season, I was so much looking forward to every Sunday, whereas seasons gone by, oh my God, are we going to get beaten? Or sometimes I just watched the red zone and Bears were never shown because nothing was happening. But last season, there were so many magical moments, and please God, I just hope it continues into next year.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate, with that. It is. It's like an upside down world, isn't it, for us as Bear fans? But I think as well with Caleb is, his first year was a complete disaster regarding the coaching he was getting. It were a fucking joke how he got treated by the Bears his first season. And really, I look at like last season as his sort of like second rookie season under Ben Johnson. And these two work together so closely as well. And they seem to have like a really good respect for each other. And I just think, the sky's the limit for Caleb. The only thing I would say is that, yes, well said, Peanut. We do need to start on offense quicker in the first half. Instead of always having to come back, in these, tight games in the second half. But
this is a great comment. Great comment from Ali. Sorry to interrupt, mate, but yeah, welcome, welcome in. Seen you before in here, man. Welcome, Ali. Completion percentage is one of the few things that Caleb haters can still hang on to. All the haters are gonna have to eat crow again this year. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's just why does it matter when you win a division and people are going to moan about completion percentage? It's just like it's about winning games, man.
Yeah, but the main thing is as well, he don't throw many picks. He still don't throw many interceptions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd rather him have less interceptions than his pass percentage completions. And I think it will get better because I think they're probably going to be really concentrating on what they call the more like everyday passes. Like 5 and outs and slants. The sort of ones where he'd seem to either throw it a little bit too hard or not really throw it to make it really catchable for the receivers. But then again, he had quite a lot of drops by the receivers as well, didn't he, last year, which didn't help his stats. Yeah. So it's a bit sort of a balancing thing. But
and throwaways as well. There was quite a few throwaways, mate, as well, because he's making better decisions. And the other big thing, I did mention this last year because I found this stat, and there was one other reason that never gets talked about is that he threw the ball down the field at the highest rate of any quarterback in the last 5 years. So he wasn't doing the screens and the dump offs. It was like 4%, I think it was, or if his passes were at or behind the line of scrimmage, which is the lowest by any quarterback in the last 5 years anywhere. So that's why he had probably another contributing factor to all the. You can add all these together. He was throwing the ball down the field, man, because we had so many explosive plays, didn't we? We had one of the top 3 in the league in explosive plays, and that's because he was launching it down the field. So I think that's another important factor that always gets overlooked is the fact that he wasn't just doing dump offs and screens and stuff, which are easy to get pad your stats and make 2 yards on a screen. But he's launching the ball down the field. So do you know what? I don't give a shit as long as we're winning football games, mate. I tell you, I won't care.
I don't
really care when we're lifting the Super Bowl when someone says, yeah, but his completion percentage was only 61%. I'm like, whatever,
Who cares? We're Super Bowl champions. Who actually cares?
Exactly.
Stats always tell the truth, man, at all. And I think, like you were just saying there about him, having the most sort of attempts downfield. He was having to sort of, do massive comebacks like practically every game. So there was, it wasn't like he were like, you're having to fight and sort of really fight back and make them sort of passes which are a bit daring. So like you said, Jason, hopefully we get, a decent lead in the first half and then he can just sort of reel it back and be more in control and, use the clock. But what are your thoughts, David, about Caleb?
I think he's maturing into a very, very good player. And, there's something about him now. He's got that. For me, he's got that X factor, and you know what? I really do believe it's not just all about the Caleb and the offense and all that. You've got the special teams, you've got the defense and all that. They're all working together as one big unit. And even like last year, but I think it was against the Raiders, wasn't it, where they were going to kick to win the game, and the special team there's something because obviously they just contributed. And then when you get sort of like wins unexpectedly, which we got a few unexpected wins, really, to be honest with you. And but there's just something about the lad, and I just think he comes across with the media nice. He's confident.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Yeah, you mentioned it there, and that's good. As Booker said, and that's because Coach Johnson is setting the tone for the whole organisation, and everyone is living it. Everyone is living it the way that he wants them to, and that's. When you got a culture like that, it's we saw it's hard to stop. They just didn't believe they were ever out of a game, and they just play hard. It's just awesome, mate. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
And to be fair, the season with Eberflus was horrific, and I don't dislike the fella, but he just had no confidence and no aura about him. And when you're working with young men who need motivation, they need a kick up the arse. Someone like Ben Johnson, he's the man. He just fits into that locker room mentality. last season when he ripped his shirt off, like being part of the gang. It was just everything was just like a massive positive. Can you imagine Eberflus doing that? They used to show interviews after we maybe won a game, and it was so like Debbie Downer. You just think, Jesus, man, we just won a. But with Eberflus, with Johnson, his mannerisms at press conference are really so professional, and that's got to rub off on your QB.
And I think as well, Dave, with the success we had last year with Ben Johnson, then it's going to make it easier for players to buy into his way of doing things because, he can go, well, look at the success we had last year, and this is on his first year. And that's going to make it so much easier for players to buy into his ethos and the coach is creating. But the guy's is a football machine, man, Ben Johnson. And you can tell, like you just mentioned, David, about when he ripped his top off. I mean, I couldn't, like you said, I can't ever imagine. Maybe Dixon might have done it back in the 80s. But I can't think of any other Bears coach who had that sort of spirit and drive and not afraid to show that, we won and celebrated it with his team, you know what I mean, with his players. And it's just such a fresh breath of air for the Bears. And, and like you're right, it's all about culture and he's a winner. And he's, and let it go on and on and on for me, mate. On and on for me.
That's an interesting comment from Mike here as well. He said there's not one QB in the NFL Hall of Fame with a higher than 65% completion percentage.
Wow.
That's hot garbage media is pushing. If that's true, that's a hell of a stat. That's a hell of a stat, Mikey. Loving it, mate. I'm a stats guy.
Talking about stats, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the first ever stat bomb of the 2026 season by our man Jason. Fire away, brother.
Thanks, mate. Seamless link. What a beautiful thing. Right.
Beautiful, man.
I was slow off.
Professional.
I was slow off the mark last week. I was just getting into. It wasn't full pads, was it? Last week.
No,
so I
just walk through it.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't do a stat bomb, but I'm back with a vengeance now. So strap yourselves in. Here comes some diamonds, right? So the Hall of Fame game was this week, wasn't it? So that was on Thursday. Right. So Carson Beck became only the third quarterback ever to finish college. His last game in college was to start in the national championship game and then begin his NFL career with the Hall of Fame game. So the other two were Josh Hoople in 2001 and Matt Mork in 2004. Both of those guys won the college championship and then lost the Hall of Fame game, but Beck unfortunately lost both. But yeah, he's only the third quarterback to finish his college career in the championship game and then start in the Hall of Fame game. Interestingly, right, the Hall of Fame, here we go. You can see where I went this week with the rabbit hole. The Hall of Fame game has been played annually since 1962. So that's when it started. And preseason games were reduced from 6 to 4 in 1978. So there's another one. They used to play six preseason games up until 1978 when it was reduced to 4.
That's too many, man.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like only half a season.
Yeah.
So,
then again, the season was shorter, though, wasn't it, in them days?
The season it was. It was okay. All right. Anyway, come on. This is my segment. Shut your face, right?
Just saying, Jason.
You're right. The 2008 Hall of Fame game was the first ever game played on a Thursday night.
Oh, all right, cool.
How about that? Yeah. And
that's a stat.
That is a stat. And then the most preseason games that any player has played in was 64, which was kicker Morton Anderson. You'd imagine it'd be a kicker or something like that, wouldn't you? But yeah, Morton Anderson played in 64 preseason games, which is the most by any NFL player. So then I got right off on a real tangent. So this is, bear with me, this is going to get a bit crazy. Right, but only 3 players in NFL history have caught a pass when they're aged in their 40s. Do you know who one of them might be? The obvious one. Jerry Rice, exactly. Yes, and you see why he's such a flipping legend of the game, right? There's only 3 players that have caught a pass in their 40s. Jerry Rice, and after 40, he caught 161 passes for 2,169 yards and 10 touchdowns in his 40s.
And that was for the Raiders, wasn't it? That was for the Raiders because he went from the 49ers to the Raiders, didn't he? Jerry Rice.
Yeah, right. Just wait a minute. Just wait for me to finish.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's right. He's the only wide receiver of the bunch. The other two are quarterbacks. Come on.
Over
Manning.
40.
One of
Brady.
them was Tom Brady in 2018 when he caught a pass which is a reverse from Julian Edelman. So there was a reverse sort of, which was counted as a forward pass. The only other one was Brett Favre, and it was because it was because it was against the Vikings. He threw the pass. It hit the helmet of a Vikings defender, went in the air, and he caught it for -2 yards. So screw you, Brett Favre. And then, so you're right with the Super Bowl. In the year that Jerry Rice turned 40, he made the Pro Bowl. In that year, he had 92 receptions for 1,211 yards and 7 touchdowns. In that postseason, he caught 14 passes for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns, which included 5 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown in the Super Bowl, which they lost, but a 48-yard touchdown. So that's crazy for a guy at 40 years old, isn't it, man? A season like that. He went to the Pro Bowl at 40 years old. And then, interestingly, that was Super Bowl 37, I believe, which was the last Super Bowl to be played in January.
Wow.
Everyone else after that has been. This is loving this, man. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the last one to be played in January because after that they're all played in. There was a 2-week gap introduced from the championship game to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So after that, they was always in February. So that was the last Super Bowl played in January. So you can have that one.
I like that. Yeah, I like
And
that.
talking of Super Bowls, I'm going to wrap it up with this one, right? When Caleb's lifting it in February next year, right? Just imagine the Lombardi Trophy is crafted by hand and takes 72 hours to make, right? It's made of sterling silver. So although the same design is used on each one is unique, obviously because it's different numbers, but they are all slightly different because they're made by hand in 72 hours of sterling silver. It's 22 inches tall and it weighs 7 pounds. And that's your Super Trophy. So just remember that. Like I say, when Caleb's lifting it in February next year, that's what he's lifting.
As I say every time, Jason, my feeble northern brain's just gone.
Yeah, that was.
I love it when he's gone up. Sorry, Dave. I love it when he's gone up.
Sorry, man.
Listen, I'm loving
really
this too,
enjoyed
man. Yeah, so right now I quite enjoyed it myself, actually. I got lost in a bit of a rabbit hole, but this is an awesome one from R. Lee as well. Look, the last time a Bears quarterback entered his 3rd season as a Bear with a winning record against the Packers was 1984.
Oh.
Great stuff, mate. R. Lee's after my job. You stay away. I love a stat. That's great work, mate. Great work. Yeah, I love it.
That's great. Out of interest, who actually makes the trophy? Do you know?
Don't know. I don't. Oh, sorry. I meant to write that down. Yeah, it's Tiffany & Co. Tiffany & Co. make it.
Oh,
right.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate.
That's
Yeah, I meant to write that.
that.
Yeah, Tiffany & Co. 72 hours to make it by hand. So each one is unique because it's made by hand out of sterling silver. Yeah, there you go. Bash bosh.
That's
Cool.
Yeah, that's
On to
very
the Browns.
interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
it's all right,
let's
isn't
move on. Sorry, mate. Let's move on to the Chicago Bears preseason games, which are coming up, and joint practices. This Saturday, we're playing the Browns. On the 23rd of August, we're playing the Bengals. And on the 29th of August, we're playing the Titans. And we've got joint practices with the Bengals and Titans. I always find it really tricky to preview sort of preseason games because, it's full of backups, it's vanilla, play calling. Damn right as well, mate. Damn right. So I always find it quite hard to sort of preview games. I mean, obviously it's not about the results. It's about players' individual performances and players, trying to make the team. But I personally think these days that the teams are getting more out of the joint practices than the preseason games because it's still a controlled environment. It's still, you're not going to get your QB smashed. So I think they'll make the most of them 2 joint practices, and I mean, it's just hard, isn't it? Really.
Look at that stat from Shorty.
That's
Peyton Manning
right,
has thrown 5 interceptions in his first 2 seasons. Caleb 13. Amazing, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I think really I can imagine that. I mean, Caleb's got to play at some point, but I think it would probably like maybe the second or third game. What do you reckon, Dave?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm more interested in. I'm always I'm always a bit dodgy about pre-season friendlies, and especially in soccer and stuff like that as well. You're never going to put your best team out, but it gets the players used to stuff. But I actually looked at statistics when it comes to the stadium because I'd be interested to know how full up the stadium's going to be for a pre-season game. I actually went online to look at ticket prices for the game against the Bengals, and it varied from the cheapest seats were $45, which is about £45, which is about $36 on today's rate. But the most expensive ones were there was tickets going for $265 to watch the game against the Bengals. Now, if that stadium's sold out, that shows the vibe around the city's massive because they want to see the Bears at all costs. But on average, it was working out about $33 for the cheapest ticket, and at the moment, the most expensive $265. So, if the Bears think they can get that sort of price, that'd be very interesting. But if I was paying nearly $300, I'd expect to see Caleb playing. I'm not quite sure about the Bengals, what sort of team they're going to put out, but I think it's just get a bit of bit like the boxers, get the ring rust out of them, get the feel of Soldier Field, get a bit of grass between your toes, get your studs in there, and roll on for the opening game of the season. But yeah, pre-season friendlies, you're right, Chris. They're very hard to predict where it's going to go, and but I think it's more get the guys up and running really.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, Jess?
I agree, mate. I think you're right. I think I feel sometimes you get more out of the joint practices because you're not going to play your starters for much of certainly for the first preseason game. They'll probably won't see much of them until perhaps the second or third game. But I think a lot of what they want from the preseason is essentially because firstly, you won't see the starters, and secondly, the playbook's going to be totally vanilla. They're not going to give away anything about what they're planning to do in terms of complex plays or anything. So. But I'm just loving. I can't wait to just see the Bears football again. To be honest, that's what I'm looking forward to. And
I can't wait for Saturday. Can't wait. I'm getting fully loaded up. I'm going to get some nice food in, some alcohol, and maybe some Jamaican woodbines will be going. And I tell you, I'll be like a pig in shit. I will be on Saturday. I'm telling you.
I'm working till 6. So I'm going to, I'll be coming in and putting it on and watching it from the start. So I'll be a bit behind everyone else. But I think the other big thing, of course, with preseason is that it gives your guys that are playing with the seconds and thirds a chance to shine. It shows you what they've got with them. So you're going to see what you've got from your squad players, and it's a good place for them to compete for a place in the 53. So you can see a bit of effort from those guys. So that's the large part of it. So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of people. Mikey just mentioned Dylan Thieneman. That was one of my other notes from my camp. General observations about training camp was that Thieneman is settling in and starting to show out a bit. I think so. I think he's going to start showing why we picked him in the first round. So I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I think he got his first interception quite recently in camp in the last sort of week or so. So that's a really good sign, especially how he's lost. The support of Coby Bryant as well. So, that's good signs. But I can't imagine it. I can't imagine him seeing much action through the pre-season.
Not a huge amount.
No, I can't. Not with all the injuries we've got the DBs. I can't see them sort of, daring to make the risk really when there's no need.
No. What about the Bengals quarterbacks? So who do you think they might start with? Because obviously there's been a lot going on down there, isn't there?
Browns. Do you mean the Browns?
Browns. Sorry.
Oh, you're about Watson, the guy who likes a happy ending, and Shadar Sanders.
Sanders and I'm so interested in that because he's just got himself a nice big. What's he got? A 5-year deal or something? So 200.
This is the last year of his deal, though, isn't it? This is the last year of his deal, I believe, isn't it? I think it.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
I think it might be.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I read that today. But again, they still don't. They still don't know who their quarterback is, do they? Because he had a really bad injury last year, didn't he?
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see who the Bengals start with. And like I say, they're not going to show all their cards straight away either, isn't it? So Sorry, keep
Yeah.
saying Bengals.
You do, yeah. So
Yeah, Browns.
just to, no, we forgive you, mate. It's okay. It's
Yeah,
blown out
it's
comp.
you
Bit
sort
of
of
pre-season for us.
Yeah, if it's a training camp, mate, you just be on the sideline warming up a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
So
don't worry about it, Dave. Don't worry about it, mate.
give you a
That's
little
fine.
bit of inside track on the Browns. The Browns, Dave.
What about
They
the
got a new
Bengals?
head. They got. I'll worry about them next week. I'll worry about them next week. Anyway, as I was saying,
Hey!
Really, first pull on the British Bears show.
Yeah, the first
Not that
time.
kind, Carl. Not that kind. Yeah. So the Browns have got a new head coach, Todd Monken, who was the former Ravens offensive coordinator. He had some mixed reviews there apparently, but he was given the job after Kevin Stefanski was got rid of. The big thing about the Browns was last year their defense was one of the best, wasn't it? So they had a brilliant defense,
Yes,
obviously led by Myles Garrett, who is gone. Devin Bush is now our linebacker, and so they still got some like Pro Bowlers at every level of the defense. They got obviously Jared Verse came their way in the Garrett deal, and they've got obviously Schlesinger, the linebacker who won the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Denzel Ward, got some great players on D, but their defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, he left the club after being overlooked for the head coach job. So they've now got the guy that is their DC used to be the Falcons defensive passing game coordinator, which is Mike Ruttenberg. So he's now got to inherit that defense with a couple of sort of key players missing. Obviously, there's still some talent there, but it would be interesting to see how they go with that. So the QB competition you mentioned already, they don't know who their starting QB is. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel was their third-round pick 2 years ago, and he's still at the club. I don't know where he'll end up, but they've got like a handful of quarterbacks, haven't they? So at the moment, it seems to be between Deshaun Watson and Shadur Sanders. So I'm guessing we may see a bit of both of those in the preseason game, which will be interesting. Here's another little stat. In 2025, the Cleveland wide receiver class group was last in the NFL in receiving yards and touchdowns. So they bolstered it in this draft this season with two rookies, Casey Concepcion in the first round and Denzel Boston, who have actually been doing pretty well apparently in preseason. So you'll be watching out for a couple of rookie receivers in their group, but they've got a new group there because they were cheeks last year, largely because obviously their quarterbacks were a bit shit as well, weren't they? So, but we'll see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see go against them actually. And the other good thing, an interesting thing rather, I was looking at with them was they got potentially all new starters on the offensive line. They essentially lost a load of players. So they've got basically a left tackle is a rookie, Spencer Fano, and then they've got a mishmash of others. They're trying to basically decide. They think they've got it sorted, but they're looking at basically a whole new offensive line. So again, we could see some fireworks in the trenches. Hopefully, if our guys can get on top of them, we'll see how they work as a unit. But and we talked about injuries. You know, we've got obviously ours to deal with. But on Monday, the Browns had 14 players out of practice. So it's like you said, every team struggles with it. It depends on who it is. You know, you don't want your stars to be missing, but at the minute, every team is sort of taking it easy with their players. And then the one other thing I noticed from just doing a bit of research on their training camp was on Monday, their offense essentially just ended training camp by the session by being really shit. So the first team offense, the first team offense was out there in training camp, and they had 3 consecutive pre-snap penalties. So Todd Monken canned it. He said, like, no, just go home. And then the second team offense had a go, and they had 2 consecutive pre-snap penalties. So he just ended the day there, and that's how they finished the day on Monday. So they got some issues going on in terms of trying to run an offense. So,
it could be a bit of an ugly game then on Saturday night.
Either that or Jordan Vandenberg could be eating, man.
Yeah. I mean sorry, go on, Jess.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him on. You go.
I was just going to say, I mean, you know, we usually sort of do our predictions, but it's so hard in the preseason, and I mean, obviously, I think the Bears are winning. I think we're miles ahead of where the Browns are. I mean, the Browns haven't really been relevant since sort of the sort of mid to late 80s, really, with Bernie Kosar. I mean, we sort of moan about the lack of success of the Bears, but God, imagine what it must be like if you've been a Cleveland Browns fan for like 30 years. The club actually went fuck off when they went to a different city and started, became the Ravens. They just don't seem to have any look at all that franchise. But I think we'll win. I think we're miles ahead of them in our squad. And it's just going to be really interesting to see who plays for the Bears and see how the backups play, and hopefully we have no injuries. And it'd be interesting to see how their quarterbacks perform. What are your thoughts, Dave, about our last thoughts about the Browns game?
I think you're right. I think we are ahead. I didn't realise that the Browns were going for a rebuilding process actually. So I was unaware of that. So they've got to have a few players that might want to prove a point. But I think we should be ahead of them. I reckon we're going to score mid-30s points. Hopefully, get the crowd a bit lively. Of course, the Browns are going to score. But if we can keep them down to below 20 points, that'd be fantastic. So. I think if we just keep the momentum, like I say, just keep winning, it just brings a winning mentality. So it could be an ugly game. Preseason games normally are everyone's a little bit careful and a bit wary that they don't get injured. So as long as we take a Bears win, we should score in the mid-30s. We should be fine, I think. And I like to see a full stadium actually, because that would get the players really, really pumped up, I think.
I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing Bajent play. Seeing how
that's on my list. That's on my list. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I like Tyson.
Great minds think alike and all. I know that's what it is, Jason. But I'm really looking forward to seeing like how Bajent plays and if he's improved on his arm strength's got better, and because obviously any chance that he gets, it's an audition to the rest of the league. To show what he can do. So I'm really going to be interested to see how Bajent is. But Jason, what are your sort of final thoughts about the Cleveland game?
Looking forward to it, mate. I can't today. Bears football will be back. I can't wait to see, even if it's preseason, just watching some football. It'll be brilliant. I think there's going to be some battles. I'm really looking forward to seeing Jordan Vandenberg, because the guy's he started off with a third. This is our 6th round defensive tackle, the first South African-born player to be drafted in the NFL. He's been ripping it up, hasn't he? Apparently in training camp. So he started with the thirds. He got some reps with the seconds, and now he's just started having some reps with the first team. So really can't wait to see what he's going to do against the sort of second and third string of the Browns. So that could be not tasty. I can't wait to see that. Also looking for. I mean, the things I'm looking at is the kind of the battle for the third running back slot. Salvin Ahmed has been doing well in training camp, but obviously Britton Brown's still there, who had some success with us last year.
Yeah, he played well last season, didn't he? Last preseason game.
Roshan Johnson's still there. Yeah, Roshan Johnson's still there, and then Coleman Bennett. So they're going to be all, vying for that third. Carl says Roshan Johnson is ascending, so I'd heard he had some stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. Again, wide receivers, we've got such a room now. So with obviously Luther's out. Rome will get some action, but limited. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the guys. Jardine Walker, Scotty Miller has been doing all right. Caden Davis has been making some plays apparently, and catching balls from Tyson Bajent. I think it's gonna. I'm really looking forward. Bajent's been lighting it up in. I know. Yeah, it's funny. He's got me, didn't he? Rage baiter. Roshan Johnson is heading out the door, but it's been Salvin Ahmed has been the one that's been knocking on the door, isn't he? But so I'm looking forward to seeing Khalif Raymond, Caden Davis, some sort of backup wide receivers, what they can do. And then fourth tight end as well. We know our three are. We know the three. Stephen Colson, Kadir Ishmael, Nikola Kalinic, and Hayden Large was an undrafted free agent who was quite interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he might do out there. And then the other main ones are really, because obviously when we get into the seconds and thirds, is Luke Newman kind of started off okay.
The offensive lineman.
Luke Newman. He was a guard, and he's actually had some decent reps last year.
He's always played well when he's had chance. I've always.
And then I think he had an injury, and then he ended up just being kind of like bombing around. So I don't know. I'll look to see what he's developed like. And then the other two, of course, on the O-line are Caden Barnett, the Vanilla Gorilla, and Jaron Kump, who's like a giant of a man. He's like a centre guard. Another two undrafted free agents. So be interested to see what we've got in those guys. But let's just see the highlights I'll be looking at. But ultimately, just see some Bears football, see what our second and third can do. Yeah, really looking forward to it, man. Just gonna see what we got. I can't wait.
All right.
It's gonna be, like I said, I'll be coming in from work. I finish at 6, so I won't get home till a bit later. So I'll be watching behind everyone else. So I'll be turning my phone down. So I'm not listening to anything, any giveaways from you guys, spoilers. But yeah, it should be good.
You should you should have said that.
Yeah, I'm working till 3, so I'll be watching the game, sort of like hopefully live. I might be. I'm working Sundays. I can't be drinking beer either. So yeah, I'll be watching it sober.
Screw you, Carl. Screw you, man.
Is there anything in the chat you'd like to bring up, Jason, before we head off?
Ron Winarski's just popped in. He's just said hello. I don't know how long he's been there, but yeah, just massive thanks everyone to seeing some of the same old faces, a couple of newish guys, but just really glad that you guys are back. You two are back. The guys in the chat, just keep it alive, keep it bouncing. Just really enjoy it. Thanks to you all for being here, and yeah, let's just watch the Bears football the weekend.
Oh, I agree. I've actually really enjoyed the banter tonight. It's been very buoyant, very positive. It's a forward-looking podcast for a forward-looking American football team that's going to win the Super Bowl. Everything's on the plus at the moment, isn't it? Yeah, let's have it. And,
Nice instead.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what we want. Yeah, I'd just like to quickly say thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to you guys. It's great having you back, Dave.
Thank you, mate.
It's been a really fun show, and obviously next week we'll be back and we'll be discussing sort of individual players' performances from the Browns game and sort of looking towards the joint practices and the Bengals game, Dave. It's the Bengals,
Yeah, I'm gonna do some stats for the Bengals game now.
All the Browns, take your pick. It doesn't matter.
They're both the same division. But we'll end the show today. I'd just like to say thank you for Shorty for letting us do the show. Thanks to you guys. It's just been really, really fun today. And I think we should just leave the show with a big fat bear down. So 1, 2, 3, bear down.
We are Bears. We are Bears. We are Bears. The British Bears.